I hear a lot of men, I want this, I want this, I want this, but you're not that. You gotta be
Yes,
that.
you have to
want
be
women to submit, but
you
you're not
have to be a reflection of what you
Yeah.
desire.
Yeah.
Legit, because men will
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I want more women to be, a woman of God, and I want her to work hard, and I want her to this, and I want that." And it's like, are you a woman, a man of God?
Right.
Do you work hard?
Yeah.
Are you trustworthy? Like, you have to be a reflection of what you want first before you go out here trying, because you might encounter.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. Welcome to Fuel Station Singles Podcast. I am sitting here with the most beautiful women in the world. I mean, y'all beautiful too, so don't take it that way. But yes, these lovely ladies are gonna give us a little bit of some clarity of what they may be looking for in their single life with God. So we're gonna go around with some names, starting right here. Well, first, I'm Jerome, the host. Nice to meet you.
I'm Keita. Nice to meet you again.
I'm Marie. Nice to meet you.
I'm Jealousy Salter. Nice to meet you.
And I'm Cheryl. Nice to meet you.
All right. Aren't they just lovely? Well, so we're going to get started. I'm going to hit them with a couple questions just to see where their mind is at. So the first question, well, first, are you ladies ready? Yes?
We're ready.
That's not convincing. Are y'all ready?
Yes,
We're
we
ready.
are ready.
Yes,
Come on,
yes.
guys. Okay. So the first question is, what do you guys look for in a man naturally first? Natural turn-ons to beautiful women like you guys.
Well, I look for a kind, caring. You know, it got to be already kind and caring. We don't. I look for somebody that don't have to have God to be kind and caring. Somebody just kind and caring. A provider. Someone who's easy to talk to. And that's all I could think about right now.
Okay.
The thing that catches my eye is appearance, because like when you see somebody, that's really what draws the connections. Like, you look at them, you're like, oh, they look pretty nice, So it's more for me like the appearance, I'm looking at how you carry yourself. I'm looking at how you're dressed. I'm looking at how you keep yourself groomed. I'm looking at just the appearance. That's all. Just the appearance.
Okay.
Well, the first thing that take my eyes is obviously physically his body, his smile, and the personality. So for me, a man can look good, but when you speak with him, or he's like a little mean and be like with a face like a, so for me it's not, needed to have like a nice personality, a nice smile, and obviously, for example, this is the first thing that I see in a man is how look his body, like muscles and stuff, So I'm
Okay.
talking physically. So this is the first thing that we see. I can say the smile in the body and the personality. How they smile and laugh and all that. So
Got a little style. Okay. All right.
So I have to agree with all of you guys. And you said the physical, like what you see.
Yeah.
And as we are physical beings, so
Yeah.
you have to have that physical attraction initially.
There it is.
But after the physical
Then,
attraction,
then,
then
yes.
you get to find out more about a man and what he's really made of.
Yes.
And then it's
There
like
it
the
is.
physical doesn't even matter if you have a bad attitude.
Yeah.
The
Right.
physical doesn't matter if you are mean, if you're unkind.
Right.
None of the muscles matter, because when you open your mouth and start to talk to me now, that's when the real you shows up.
Yeah.
And
There it
so,
is.
but initially, I have to have that physical attraction where I'm like, oh,
First,
Yeah.
I could look at that face every day.
There you go. That's
And
important.
you know why
Important.
I said appearance is because like for me, you're not even going. I'm not going to be able to find out if you're kind or how you are if I don't see like if your outer appearance is not it. I'm not even gonna go that
Pants
far.
sagging,
It's like,
like hair not combed,
I'm like, you know, I'm
teeth not
teeth
brushed.
not brushed.
You ain't having
I'm
that.
big on teeth. Like I look at teeth. Like I think I have a complex with teeth.
No,
really.
real.
Like I have to look at your mouth, and if that is jacked up,
Or they have like a bad smell.
we can't. We
Oh,
can't
yeah.
even.
Yeah.
I was
You
gonna
done
say,
lost me at hello.
I was gonna say for all you fellas out there watching, look, man, women care about your hygiene.
Yes.
I'm just letting you know.
Yes.
Your teeth can't be yellow.
No.
Yes.
You can't be musty. I'm this week. I have to be honest with y'all. You
Look.
cannot be musty.
Thank
Look,
you.
and we
And
know
your beard needs to be brushed.
Yes.
And if it can't connect, you need to do something about that.
No gaps in the beard.
Look, and we notice when y'all wear the same jeans that whole week. I'm just saying. I'm just saying because I'm afraid you ain't wash your jeans 5 times. I'm just saying.
Maybe he has 5 pairs of the same jeans because they're comfortable. I'm
Yo.
just saying. I'm playing devil's
I'm honest.
advocate here.
Oh, you definitely
because what if
playing
he really likes those jeans and they fit him well and they comfy and he probably bought 5?
Get somebody else to do it. It's not believable.
If you got 5 pair of the same pants, I mean, hey, I ain't gonna. It is what it is.
This is the first how
Yeah.
how my sister Cheryl said. This is the first thing that we can
Yes.
see physically, but after, of course,
Yeah.
after we meet each
Mm.
other and I know that person, I need to see the personality, you know,
Yeah.
because how I said in the beginning, you can be a handsome guy, but when you talk to me and you are mean and you are like a very,
Mm.
I don't know, that can be.
Yes.
No,
We don't tolerate disrespect.
That's a deal breaker.
I was about to get on to that part. Okay. So, with that being said, we're going to slide a little more into the spiritual real fast. I just want to see something. If this guy looks good, what is something that you will require spiritually that you will want to hear him say on a date? Or just what he shows you through actions? He looks good now. So you got that part. And this is a turn on. So this is something you want to see.
I'm just gonna say if I'm on a date and a guy is too spiritual, like. I'm just like,
This
if they
get
too
good.
religious, like I feel like you acting that out to
Overdoing it.
show me, like, yeah, to convince me that, like, I just want you to be you, because I'ma tell the spirit gonna
Yes.
recognize the spirit. You
Yes.
know what I mean? So I wouldn't want them to sit up there and just, oh, God is good and so he is all the time, and we having
It's like, we just eat this chicken.
ending
Like, that's
service.
it.
We ending service. You know what I mean? So,
Okay. Okay.
but go ahead.
Well, I'm not a person that I like action. I don't really go by talk because talk is cheap. I prefer action.
Ouch.
So I'm looking for somebody that's showing me the fruit. If we want to talk about the spirit, like kindness, compassion, I have to see the fruits of the Holy Spirit for me to know. I don't want you to tell me about it. I want to see it.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm looking for, the fruits of your actions.
So you would want to see, basically what you're saying is when you go on a date, he needs to just show that with his actions. He don't got to talk about what type of guy he is.
And just be yourself.
much
Just be yourself.
Be yourself.
Just be yourself.
Okay.
We gonna see it. Like I said,
So,
spirit gonna
and
recognize
you can
spirit.
see it how my sister Kira said, when a guy is starting to speak with you, that happen, when you're starting to speak with somebody, you can know when the person is spiritual or can be religious.
Yes.
And you can know how mature is a person is, But for the first, for example, how Jerome asked, for example, the first thing that I can see how, I don't know, it's not like you're going to speak about church all day or something like that, how Kira said, but you can know it.
Yeah.
When really the person is really on God on that, and how
Yes.
my sister Mary said, like that have fruit, so it doesn't have to be all. I love the Lord. I'm gonna say it.
Do you
That's
really?
something- the fruit is gonna tell me, but in the beginning, how the question was, I don't know. They can be with the conversation. You can know when the person really love God, or have the commitment with the Lord, not to visit the church. Because a lot of guys and a lot of people here say, I go to the church, I go to the church, I'm Christian. But really, when you see the fruits of your life, that I see that all the time, I say, like, you don't know Jesus. O sea, you are out of that. O sea, to go to the church and mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
Or you can be a posting a lot of things on Facebook,
Yeah.
a lot of scripture, but for me that means nothing.
Yeah.
So the Spirit needs to give me testimony who you
Yeah.
are and your fruit, how my sister Marie said, you know. But yeah, but I believe that you can how my sister Kira said, like in the discernment you can know really with the person talking is religious, you are trying to impress me,
Yeah.
or really you are a spiritual and you know God. So you really know when a person really know God. I don't know, you can know it sometimes.
It's almost like it's almost like how God looks at our heart. It's almost like we can look at their heart through their actions.
Exactly.
Like Auntie was saying, you got you're kind, you're patient, things like that. So, you know.
Yeah, but we can be confusing because there are people that are kind, that can be nice, but they are not spiritual. They don't have the Holy Spirit. They don't know Jesus. They have the knowledge about Jesus is the Lord, the Messiah, our Savior, but really they don't have a relation. They really never have an encounter with God.
Yeah.
They have an encounter with the religion.
Yeah.
That a lot of people
Yeah.
is here that happen, but really don't have an encounter really with Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's different. There are a lot of people that are kind, that are men that are that have a beautiful personality, but they are not spiritual.
And I believe that we may run into people, excuse me, who do believe in God and who do love God, but they might not, like you said, they may not be as spiritual.
Exactly.
Maybe because they didn't have that right teaching, or maybe they don't understand something, or maybe so. You know, I wouldn't too much judge on the fact that they're not as spiritual as I would be.
Exactly.
You know, because then it's almost like, well, you was at a point where you wasn't that spiritual, you know, like you knew who God was, you knew what you were trying to grow into, but you didn't have the right teachings, or you didn't you were taught by religion, and now you're understanding. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's good. What you say?
Anything you want to say?
So for me personally, I want to at least know that the person knows who God is.
Exactly.
For starters, that's a starting point for me, because we have to be on the same page. If someone comes to me and says, well, you know, I'm kind, I'm nice, I'm looking for a relationship, but I don't do the God thing, because I've heard that before, then that's a deal breaker right there.
Definitely.
But at the very beginning, at the very least, that person has to
Exactly.
believe in God, in the same God that I believe
And I say,
in
"I am
Jesus.
God."
That's right.
And then we can go from there, because we all are at a different level in our
Yes,
Christian
yes,
spiritual
yes,
walk.
Yes.
And we all had to start somewhere.
Yes.
And so we needed patience from whomever to get to where we are now, where we may feel like, okay, I'm strong in this area and strong in that area. But our Christian walk is constant. It's fluid.
Yeah,
It doesn't,
continuous.
we don't
Yeah.
ever arrive.
Yeah.
So we're always growing
Yes.
in Christ. So for me personally, I just need to know that you have that willingness
Yes.
to know who God is and have your own personal relationship with him.
Yes.
If you're just, you know, going through the motions and you're like, well, yeah, I know there is a God, but there's no interest there, then my interest kind of goes like, okay.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what matters.
But that
Yeah,
is what I
that's good.
said. Like, it's not that the person have to have it like how my sister Kira said, a high level
Yeah.
in the Lord. Because absolutely, you don't have to have a person that have the same level that you have, but at least, how you say, a person that love God,
Yes.
that really wanna serve God and is striving to really,
Yes.
you know, this is the difference. Because absolutely, you're not gonna look at a person that maybe everybody had a different process in their life and stuff, but at least a person that say, I want to serve God, I love God, you know, I'm
Yeah.
trying, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
I love how she said having that willingness.
Yeah.
Just having that
That's
willingness.
key.
You
That's
don't have
key.
to be way up there. Just
Yeah.
having that willingness,
Exactly.
just to want to do right. You know, just to have that heart. Your heart. Just a heart to want to do us right.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, y'all broke that down. Didn't they break that down? They broke it down. So I have another question for you guys. Is security important to Christian women? If so, how can that man show that? Give one example.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you.
Okay.
When you say security, on what type of level?
We'll say spiritual.
Security,
Spiritual security.
Mhm. So this could be example of, well, I'm lying on.
Yeah, example.
I get
Got one example?
Yeah, give us an example.
Like a woman may say, like she's a believer, so she love God, so she may say, well, a man that prays with me is perfect because that's, or can pray for me. So that could be some kind of form of security because she may need prayer that day, and he can do that. So, I mean, y'all can even use that example, but I'm just saying that's the idea, you know.
I definitely believe like that plays a big role, a big role in the whole aspect of spiritual security. That's almost like what we was talking about when we were saying that them at least believing in God, them loving God, because if they have that starting point, then they could like, okay, so for example, I'm just gonna use myself as an example.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm talking to a certain person and I could be like maybe feeling a type of way, or maybe I'm down, or maybe I'm telling them about my day, and the person would tell me to go get my Bible.
Okay.
And they would be like, read the scripture.
Wow.
Oh, okay. See,
And
yeah.
for me, I'm like, wait, I needed that. Like
That's security.
it's that sense of security, you know. If I'm down and they say, well, let's pray. Let's pray about this. So that sense of security is important. Because you know it's not a fake. Like you know they're not faking it. You know what I mean?
And the key thing is that this man who does the example Keita just used, he's already saying that like he's basically letting everybody, he don't have pride. Like he's like, look, I know where the help comes from.
Right.
So that's a very good.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what
That's
I was
really
gonna,
good.
I was going to say that was
You don't
mine.
want a
What you was
prideful
gonna
man.
say. A man that can look to God as the head, like
Yeah.
it's God,
Right.
the man, and then me.
Yes.
So
There
a
you go.
man that can look and say God is our helper, that can look to God like a child, believe it or
That's
not.
it. No, that's-
That would bring me security because I know that he's looking to God and God is taking care of both of us.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at him as my head.
Yeah.
So if he's looking to God and trusting God, and really just giving everything to God, I would feel very secure.
How my sister Marie said, my security in a man is when that man feel the Lord.
Yes.
When you have a man that feel God, you have that security that man is not gonna fail you.
Yes.
There
Because
it is.
how Marie is saying, Kira, if that person have God his head, o sea, that he not serving God, because this is something that you have to be careful. There are a lot of men that are starting serving God is for you. They are starting to go to the church is for you, but it's not really, they don't want to have a relation with God.
Yes.
They say, oh yeah, I know God, but how I gonna got you? I want to have a relation with you. I started going to the church, but really they don't know God.
Yes.
So I'm not talking that every situation is like that, because I believe that some people, God can put you some people to help you,
Yeah.
to be that support, to help that person to know God. So I believe that happened. I see that in many relations of friends that I had, that how Cheryl said in the beginning, a person that know God but doesn't have that and can be interested in you, blah blah blah. And you started, amen. That person is starting to have a relation with God and have an encounter with God, and they serve the Lord. Really, they love God, and they in the beginning they didn't. That can happen. But we have to be careful, because there are men that can come
Counterfeit.
to the church. It's not really because
Counterfeits.
they want to God. It's because they want to be with you. So this is something that we have to be careful. But the security that in the men that I see is when I see that person feel the Lord, and how my sister Kira said, the person that can support you spiritually, that can say, okay, do you have we want to pray together?
It's almost like a father. It's almost like a fatherly security. I was watching Miles Monroe. He was talking about relationships, the male and the female relationship, and like when we do decide to get married or not, it's good knowledge to know that the God is the head of the man, which means that's his father, right? The woman was made out of the man, which he called her one man. So if that woman is coming out of that man, he technically that's like that's your father. Like as a woman, that's our father. The man is like our father. So like that security that he has with God is like such a good feeling, because it feels like a fatherly love, because they know that God is their head. So it's like, so you understand your role, like, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, they gotta act like they your dad if they birthed you. That's not what I'm saying. But technically,
This is like it means, yeah, like it means that the man is the head, to us. And this has happened when you commitment in a relationship. For example, my husband, he's my head. So I can be over him. So this is basically, as Sister Kere is starting to say, for if you are ready to have a relation or get married, to understand that, like how God is al father and al head, al husband is a head, and for that reason, the man he needs to provide that security.
Yes,
because a woman is not gonna submit to a man that you don't feel secure.
There it is.
Because a lot of
It is.
men say like, but that you don't wanna submit, blah blah blah. And when I say submit, I'm not talking about controlling. No,
right.
This is not. I'm not talking about that.
I was gonna say.
I'm not talking about that. But how the Bible said, the woman of God, the virtuous woman, know their role and submit to their husband. So,
Yes.
for example, I believe and I know that my husband is my head, and I can be over that, knowing my role. But he value me, he provide me security.
Yes.
I can trust in him, and he respect me too.
Yes.
So, and this is something that the men need to understand, that the woman submit to you, respect, you need to give her the value to that woman and provide that security, not just spiritually, financially, in all the aspects.
Yes.
This is something that we have to be clear.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's
So I was gonna say what Josie just said about being the head, because the man is supposed to be the head when you look at it from a relational standpoint.
Yes.
And so spiritual security for me means that I shouldn't have to be the only one that prays. I shouldn't be the one to offer you words of encouragement from a spiritual standpoint. I shouldn't be the only one that says, "Hey, you know what? I'll pray about that for you, or I'll pray with you." Or so for me, a man who offers me spiritual security is already going to be prepared, knowing that at some point in time, he's going to have to pray for me or with me or initiate it.
Yes.
Because what I've found, through my journey is that I'm the initiator.
Yeah.
You get tired.
yeah.
It's like
I agree.
women are naturally meant to nurture and care for.
And follow.
But if you really want to take up your role as the head,
Exactly.
then you need to pick up your role as the head. And you got to
I agree.
realize that,
I agree.
oh,
Say
there's
it,
something
sister.
that I need to do too. So I need a man who has prepared himself or is preparing himself to step into his rightful role
Exactly.
as the spiritual leader. And not saying that I can't lead at some point in time, but I need that strength. I need to glean off of your strength.
Exactly.
And so if you're like weak in it, then I don't feel spiritually secure, because I got to go.
Exactly.
I have to go and intercede for myself and for you.
Yeah.
But who's interceding for me?
Yeah.
But we're together.
Yeah.
So for me, I need to know that that person that I'm with can do that for me too.
Exactly.
And that's why. Oh,
Sorry.
no, you good.
For that reason, I was telling about, for that reason, you will have to make sure that person, before you got married with that person, have their own relation with God, that they really know God, because in that way they are not going to depend on you
Yeah.
to do everything.
Depend on each other.
So it's like independent on each other, because it's happened with my husband. So since God, my husband is from the beginning when I was single, I could see that in him, he can provide me that security. Even though I'm a woman of God and I pray, but I know he can pray for me. When how my sister Cheryl said, when I'm weak, he said, I pray for you. When he's weak, I can pray for him. He said, pray for me. So that he said, Ben, come pray for me, minister to me. So that's awesome. That's awesome. When you have
It
a
is.
person that you can,
Yeah.
Sister
And,
That's
Cheryl
awesome.
said.
and most people don't know, like, if you have to force your man pray, to just work, like anything regarding fellowshipping with God or with you, it becomes a form of witchcraft. Because you're literally forcing somebody to do something that they don't even have the desire in their heart to do.
They have to want to.
Yeah. No, that's true. And I was also going to add to it is that for the guys who are watching, young, old, it don't matter. If you want a woman who loves God, with God, she's a true believer, real believer, it's important that you do the homework yourself and really get your relationship good. Because I hear a lot of men, I want this, I want this, I want this, but you're not that. You got to be that.
Yes, you have
You
to
want a
be.
woman to submit, but
You
you're not
have
a
to be a
leader.
reflection of what you
Yeah.
desire.
Yeah.
Legit, because men will
Yeah,
say, "Oh,
true.
I want more women to be, a woman of God, and I want her to work hard, and I want her to this, and I want that." And it's like, are you
Are you
a
a man
woman,
of God?
a man of God?
Right.
Yes.
Do you work hard?
Yeah.
Are you trustworthy? Like, you have to be a reflection of what you want first before you go out here trying, because you might encounter these women that are exactly what you need, and then you get them and you don't know what to do with them, and you do them wrong because you
Then
did
you
not
blame it on them.
prepare, like
That's-
you said,
That's
Yeah.
yourself to get what you were looking for.
Exactly.
because I hear that all the time. A
That's
lot of
another
men,
culture.
they want a woman to submit, but they just not leaders, man. They just,
Yeah.
I'm like, and I tell them all the time, I say, if this good woman did come in your life, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
And they be, well, I'm saying I'm no, see that's the issue right there. That's the issue.
Their definition of submit is like so off.
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah, very
They don't
You
know.
know.
That's a whole nother conversation.
It's-
Yeah, that's
That's another podcast. That's a whole podcast
that's
by
on the later
itself.
podcast. We gonna get to that one.
We just give it like a little. We just give it a little peek.
Yeah, I know, get a little feet. But yes, men, I'm telling you, please get yourselves together first. Stop thinking that you aren't like in a race or something. You ain't competing with nobody.
Yeah.
Take your time. The woman will come. But the problem is we bring our jacked up selves and then we be like, well, she need to submit. But dude, like you hearing a rapper say that, so now you like, yeah, she better submit. Oh, I know. But it don't work that way.
Yeah.
And like I said before, if she did come, what are you gonna do? This good woman. You can't be scared. You can't be trying to run. You gotta be prepared.
Mhm.
With closing, I just want to give the ladies, open up the floor for them to basically give any advice to any guy that's watching right now, anything that you guys want to say to share for any man who's young or old who's looking for a good Christian woman, a believer. What advice would you tell them to pursue you
I know
guys?
that I wanna let it speak.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what Jerome said.
Okay.
Do your work on you.
Yes.
Okay.
Men have to prepare. There is a prerequisite to being in a relationship, in any relationship. You can't look for a friend unless you yourself are friendly.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking for a wife or a life partner, whatever you want to term it as, you have to be prepared for that person. And preparation means emotional, spiritual, physical, mental. And a lot of guys think, well, I gotta secure the bag. It's not about money.
It's not.
And they come and they think that they got to impress you because, I got to have this, I have to make this amount of money and I have to, just things that don't really matter. But there are certain things in a relationship you have to be mentally well.
Yeah.
Simple.
I agree.
You need to be responsible. What does that mean? What does that look like? Well, do you pay your bills on time?
Right.
Do you get up and go to work on time
To be a man.
every day?
Yeah.
Do you earn a living? Do you take care of you? We talked about grooming in the beginning.
Yeah.
How do you take care of you?
Yeah.
Because if you can't take care of you, you can't take care of me.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Period.
She's talking to somebody right now. I don't know who, right?
If
Somebody.
you cannot get you together, look good, smell good, all the basics, you're not ready.
Yeah.
because there's a responsibility that comes with a partner.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that you will have to do for that partner. As a woman, there's certain things I'm going to have to do for the man that comes along in my life. But I would have had to prepare myself and learn what those things are.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's different, so that's a conversation that should always be had up front, because what another woman is looking for in a spouse may not be what I'm looking for in a spouse.
Right.
And that's why you have to have that conversation openly to find out, well, what does a wife look like to you? And what does a husband look like to me?
Yeah.
Well, the reason
All right.
I'm totally agree with my sister Cheryl. You have to work on yourself, in your personality. Be a man. O sea, don't try to look for a woman,
That's
a good
real.
woman. The same thing that we were talking before. I want a woman of God, but are you a man of God?
Yeah.
No, I want a woman that look good, but do you look good? O sea, please,
Yeah.
o sea, please work on yourself. And first of all,
Natural,
if you're really element, you wanna be a man of God and got a woman of God, please, I'm gonna be honest because I see that all the time here. Please don't propose to that woman to have sex before
Yeah.
marriage. Because if you really feel God, I know the temptation, I know the flesh, I know all of that. Trust me, because I was single and my husband, we have a lot of temptation. But don't do that. And and when a woman is really, really from God, they are not gonna do any, you know.
Yeah.
So don't do that, because I see a lot of men. I want a woman of God, and they had 2 months speaking, and they propose and have sex. I have a lot of friends that told me that this is their struggle. They say, I was meeting this man, blah blah blah, knowing this man, and he proposed me to have sex. As I said, I just wanna have a good relation, know a good man, get married, you know, and they proposed me immediately. So this is one of the third things that I can see when a person is not. And I'm not talking about, believe me, I'm not talking about that the temptation can come in a moment or the person can fall in a moment. I'm not talking about that. I know you have understanding to understand what I said. But immediately when you see a man like trying to sleep with you, don't do that. Wait. And if you really want a good woman, and if it's really a good woman that is worthy, don't propose her to be to have sex with you, especially if you wanna wait on God. You know, this is a mistake that I see that happen a lot, and when that happens, that messes up everything. You know, and I repeat it again. I'm not talking that we are the most holy, that the temptation can come. Absolutely, and the temptation can come. You can fall one time. That can happen to anybody. You know, but trying to not do that. And I see that all the time here, like. And the woman feel like, oh my God, they feel like we feel like, oh my God, he just want to have sex with me. He don't want to commit me. He don't want to wait on God, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say, first learn the principles. Like, learn the principles of being a man, being a husband, and then the person that you're getting to know or want to get to know, then you learn them.
Exactly.
Then you learn what love means to them.
Exactly.
And you start to asking them questions, because the more questions you ask, the more information that you're going to get, the more you're going to understand, okay, they like this. So, or when they start rambling, I know that she need me to do a certain thing to get her back, or just whatever it may be, you know, just learning her love languages. I talk about that a lot. You know,
we recommend that book.
Yes.
Love language.
Yes, definitely
Do the
learn-
free test online.
Yes, being patient
Free
with her,
test.
you know, being patient with her, just respecting her and her views, especially with the whole boundary thing. You know, if you know that you're not gonna abide by her boundary, then just leave her alone. Like, find somebody else to do it. Because it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna lead anywhere. But if you learn the principles and learn them, then it's gonna be easy for you to love them. Like, it's not hard. People think that it's hard. Like, you don't have to go back and forth about well, I feel this way, but I think that it's like, no, if a person tell you, I don't like when you do this because it makes me feel this way, instead of like, oh no, you thinking the wrong way, like embrace it, like, okay, I hear what you're saying. And if you don't understand, could you explain?
Yeah,
Can you
right.
explain more? Can you go into depth? What is it that I can do that will please you? So
Exactly. That's good. Okay.
yeah.
That's a good
So that's a big thing for a lot of women. They just want to be understood. They just want you to understand where they're coming from. They just want you to show them that you're willing and you want the relationship just like you do.
Yeah.
So
We need truth.
yeah.
Present yourself the way that you are,
Yes.
not the way you
Be honest.
want to be in
Yeah.
6 months from now.
Yeah.
Right. Be
Just-
honest.
just
right.
Be real, because one of the biggest turnoffs is meeting someone, you like them, and then they, present you with all this stuff. They tell you all this,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
these stories, and then the real person, because the real us always shows up. Like a real woman will show up.
Yeah.
A real man will show up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And we want truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want to see you unclothed,
That's good,
Yes.
Chero.
but not naked.
Yeah.
She went deep with that. Wow.
That's good, Cheryl. Thank you for saying that.
You
I
got
just
some?
want to encourage all the men out there
Okay.
to continue. I like what Cheryl said, to work on yourself mentally, spiritually, financially, emotionally. If it's okay to go see a counselor, if you want to see a counselor, get yourself together mentally, get yourself together spiritually with God, submitting to God, because that gives us security, godly women, when you submit to the Lord.
Yeah.
And continue to work on yourself and continue to take care of yourself, pay your rent, be able to have an apartment, apartment or a house, continue to work on them. Think of, like she said, if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of us?
Yeah.
So work on you. And there's something else I want to say too, because there's a lot of good men out there that I've seen let society, let their friends and everybody around them change them.
Yeah.
They're really a nice, beautiful person,
Yes.
a good, beautiful heart. But because of the influence of others, you try to be like others.
Exactly.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Us Christian women, we love for you to be yourself. If you a good guy and your friends and them don't like it, or society says you got to be hard or be this way, no, just be yourself.
Yeah.
And that
yeah.
right there is very, very strong. When you can be yourself, no matter what people say, what everybody else is doing, what all the other girls like, be you.
Yeah.
That's what that
And-
impresses me a lot. If you just be you, just be yourself, be your good, kind-hearted self.
And that's really important,
We love
because if
that.
you can stand on your 10 toes right there, that means you can stand up for your wife, your kids. So what women need to know is that you have a backbone, and Christian women need to know this as well. It doesn't get talked about. It's just like, oh, they just gotta love the Lord. All women are wired a certain way, fellas.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all know this. They don't teach you this in church. So let me tell you this. Women want to feel security. You don't got to be out here gang banging in the streets. It's just a certain type of way of carrying yourself, being dominant, being an alpha male.
Yes.
A lot of times they just be afraid. Speak your mind. If you don't like something, say that. Another thing, like she was saying, stand on your 10 toes. So if everybody else is doing this, oh, he got to go home to the wife. Go home to your wife. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when you get home and your bag's outside, I don't want to.
Right,
Don't try to, because when they get home, they got a bed to go to. You don't want you to not have no bed. So you got to make sure that you're standing on your 10 toes at all times. It speaks a lot of volumes to not only women, but even your peers, your friends. They're going to be like, man, this is a stand-up guy. They will respect you.
Stand up.
Your job will respect you. Everybody will. But you got to stop letting everybody walk all over you.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of times, Christian men, they're not told this. They're just told, be sweet and be loving. There's some stuff you got to be like, nah, I ain't with that.
That's right.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And that woman, she going to be like, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna love God and still be turned on. Mm-hmm. That's my husband right
We
there.
like that. Stand up.
Because they're
Right,
women
right.
still. We forget that. Oh, they have God, but they're women still.
Yeah, but that's why it's so
And that's
important for women to play a role as well in the relationship, to let that man have that security. Because a lot of the times men lean on their friends, because when they go out with their friends, they boosting their head up. Oh, bro, that's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Wow,
hot.
Kira,
That's
good,
you know what I
good.
mean.
Uh-oh.
And you go home, and
Right.
you go home, and now you got a headache. So now you like,
But you have to find that security on your own. You have to be secure in who you are
Staying on them toes.
first, so that whoever comes at you and whoever says things that they shouldn't say, you're still secure in who you are. You're not wavering because someone said something that you didn't like and someone made another comment. You have to be secure in you, because every man wants a secure woman. Men will say it all the time. Oh, she's too insecure.
And I don't.
But men can be very insecure as well.
And I don't think.
So you have to work on that and cultivate that security on your own.
And I'm not sure if I think it's too much of them being secure, because a lot of men is secure, but they still have like this ego thing. Like they they have like this like they want to hear you say that they're good, that they're doing this right, that you're like,
You're on
I'm
point.
telling you, she is on it. This one right here.
Yep. I
on
learned
it.
from my husband that.
Because and
It's true. He told me
this
that.
is about single Christian women, but I just had to add this nugget. I know us men. I'm with y'all. We men and we strong, but we need to hear it.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
we need to hear it.
Yes.
So if we feel unappreciated, it's like we can't really perform our best with our wives, our significant others.
That is true.
So don't. That's all another thing.
Yeah,
We gonna get to that. I ain't gonna go there.
Because
And then
how Jerome was telling Kira that when en me encagajado en igual. Después yo suena bien like it.
I just want to
You
come
know.
home, so I'd rather just sit with my friends and
Right.
let them just boost my ego a little bit. Because when I go home, she gonna be so I just want to go to sleep.
And I want to say too, for the men who are watching, if you have a good Christian woman and she's by your side, fellas, please tell her that. Tell her how much you appreciate her. Show her how much you appreciate, because it's not a lot of them left. Okay, so you
Good.
really
I'm trying to-
these women are by your side, so you want to make sure that they feel appreciated, and it don't have to be something real big, but it's just the simple fact of you just telling her that. Little things, taking out the garbage. If she don't make a big, because you would do it for them ratchet ones, so do it for a nice one. That's
You should
my
be
biggest
taking
thing.
out your garbage before anyway. So
You should, but sometimes men have a lot of complaints, and they don't want to. So I'm saying, like, put that same energy that you put into the ones that's not working out, because you're single watching this, I'm assuming. Put that energy into a woman who actually is there for you and who actually do love God. Don't take advantage of that, because you don't know when you're going to get it again, so that's very important.
Like show them care, be
Yeah.
with the tears and stuff, But one thing that is important is to know the love language of the person. For example, I love how my husband, when we were dating, he normally give me gifts and all of that. So I have flowers. I love flowers, roses, chocolates, and stuff like that. Take me out to dinner, blah blah blah. So I love that. But there are
Alright.
women that maybe they are not very. They don't like it. Maybe they have another love language, So, but this is something
learn
that
the
you have to
person.
learn.
You have to learn the person.
Yeah.
It's
To
important.
To learn that person to know, okay, what I
Or
can
you could just
do,
ask.
how Jerome say, what I can do for her that show her that I care of her. Also, I love her, and ask.
Like
But
to
at the
ask
same
questions.
time,
Yeah.
this is something that I can say about the women.
Just do it.
That sometimes we think that the men need to know everything. We have to be honest sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of women know, because
boy.
he's supposed to know this. They're supposed to know that. No,
Mind
you can say it. You can say, listen, I need this. I don't know this. Blah blah blah. Because sometimes the woman we and the men ask, well, what happened? What did I do? No, because you have to listen. They don't have to know everything.
You know what?
Be honest.
I gotta stop this.
We have to be honest and say it, like, listen, I need I like this. I want that you give me this.
And
Blah blah blah. Because they men
I'm
don't know
guilty of
everything.
that. I'm guilty because I feel like there are just certain things that a guy should know.
Exactly.
Like I'm guilty of that. So
Trust me, sister, ven me.
I won't say anything because I'm like, how do you not know?
But
Yeah,
you know,
principles.
But-
Yes.
But then,
Yes.
like she said, we have to
understand that.
open up as well and say, hey, you know what? This is what I like. This is what I don't like. Blah blah blah, and teach them, because I mean, I don't know how old everybody is here, but I'm in my 40s. And I've basically spent my whole life without you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now you have to get to learn me, and I have to get to learn you. And I'm guilty of assuming
Yeah.
that you should know certain things
Right, because-
that I don't have to tell you.
Right.
But then I find out that
Yeah.
I gotta tell you that.
No, really, because you got to always think about this though too. You wouldn't want a man to just assume that y'all should know some stuff.
Right.
Y'all would say, "Be a man, speak up." That's what a man wants from a woman.
Yeah.
You got to speak up. You're grown. I'm
Exactly.
grown. So we can't. I'm not babying you. If
So
something
the
wrong with
bottom
you,
line
you
is
better tell me.
everybody needs to speak up.
'Cause look, I'm gonna tell you something about men. We would go on about our life. We play the game. You good, babe? All right. You gotta say something.
No, we're not. Because you know what? While you're sitting there playing the game, we want you to do the dishes. We think you should get up after about 20 minutes
Yeah.
and go do something else. But we're not saying it because we think in our mind, you should be getting up now. He should
And-
be.
Yeah, but to be honest, there are things that the men should know. For example, with my husband, there are things that I don't have to tell him.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed with my husband. Praise
There you
God.
go. There you go.
I don't, have
There
to,
you
I don't
go.
have to tell him some things like by a man, by logic. They know like a principle. How you
It's
say,
certain things.
but certain things, not everything. But how you say, we have to tell them because they don't. You know, they don't know everything, and sometimes he doesn't have to know everything. But important is to learn about the person and talk.
And that's why
The
I-
principle, because when you
Communication.
know that person, he knows exactly he know now. Yes, I know even what he likes,
Yeah.
what he needs. O sea, every day now I'm learning what my husband what I like knowing his mind because everything's like a tricky girl. Listen, this is like sometimes we are so intelligent that we just know a person. I can know but I can get him with this. If I put it in my hands in her head, or I can give you this, blah blah blah. I got him. You know, this is like just some. That
And
sometimes
that's-
we have to be creative.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying because even though we tell you, we also need you to watch because a lot of times when
Right.
you watch and you watch me, then you start to learn me, and then now I don't even have to tell you because you're watching. So
and, and that's why it's good, fellas, to get a woman that you're actually attracted to and that you actually want, because you're gonna automatically pay attention.
Look at her.
Listen, you are. Stop picking these girls that you know you don't want. Or just get you one because it's gonna come naturally. He's automatically gonna listen because he's intrigued by you anyway.
Yes.
Man, she just so.
Right.
It's just how it goes. So, any last final comments before we close?
I just want to say that, you know, the dating aspect is about the journey, you know, and you've got to be willing to go through that journey, that step-by-step journey. So there are certain things that you're going to have to know that you need to do. Communication is one of them. You have to be ready to sit down and talk and have long talks. So if you're a person that be like, oh, I can't be bothered with all that talking, you're going to be
work.
single.
can't
Because
say everything is
a real woman who really wants to devote herself to a man and a man for her, we want to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Not at you. We want to talk to you. We want to talk with you. We want to have
That's right.
discussions. We want to hear what you think about certain topics. You know what I mean? We want to walk and hold hands and just communicate. Like it really is about the journey. You know, when you go to a new job, you need time to learn about that job. And sometimes you get into a new job and a new position and you learn that after a while you love that position. It's the same thing with a relationship. You get into a relationship and it's a job you wanted, it's a relationship that you wanted, and as time goes on, now you're falling in love with that person. The more you learn, the more you spend time. Like I don't know about y'all, but I spend a lot of time at work. I spend more time at work than I do at home, but it's like that's the same kind of energy you need to. I told a man once, and I don't think he really liked it, but I said, show up for me the way you show up for work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
You know, because don't be missing in action. If I call you, I'm too busy. all the minutes of the day you were busy. You know what I mean? But you get up every day and you get yourself together and you're groomed and you walk in because you want to give your best to your employer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that when it comes to relationships, a person has to keep that in mind as well.
Mhm.
Give that person the best of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Knowing how to
Okay.
deal with conflict, knowing how to resolve issues, because relationships are not perfect.
Yes.
They're not gonna be perfect. Like, I don't know why people think like, oh, I finally found this person. Everything's about to be cakes and rainbows, and we're about to be jumping in. Like, there's gonna be a day where you wake up and be like, I don't like you today. like, no, you love them. It's just maybe they hit you while they while they was asleep, like rolling over and the hand hit you or something. But I'm just really really honestly, just learn how to deal with conflict and
Yes.
things in that nature. Cause like I used to be a runner, like I run from everything, like, and I could have met good men in my past, but by me running from everything, it's like now it's a it became a cycle. So now like I'm learning how to get through issues, because it's possible. A lot of people say that you can't get through a situation because it's going to keep happening, but that's not true for everyone. It's not true for everyone. And if you don't learn how to work that out, conflict, and even give that person another opportunity, it's like with God. Like when you sin, he forgives us and he gives us another opportunity. So who are we to not give somebody now if it's a cycle from them and you keep seeing that it's happening, then you understand like, no, that's where you did it. But you just need to learn the whole dealing with conflict.
For that reason, how we say in the beginning, to work on yourself, trying to look your happiness through God, by yourself, not to depend on a person to be happy. How as Sister Kira said, o sea, every relation is not going to be perfect, but at least it's going to have like a good foundation that a person can have the basic things to be good, to be okay, but trying to find the happiness by yourself first through God.
Yeah.
Not depend on a person, like I know I'm gonna be happy when I be with a man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be happy when I be with a girl. O sea, no, o sea, take time for yourself.
Yeah.
Try to find your own happiness and through God, because in that way you're not gonna depend to have a relation with a person. For that reason, I recommend the book for Nathan Salter. That is because 7 things that you have to find before, because he explained that in that book. That is really, really, really good. He explained that you have to find your own happiness, work on yourself first, and like that, you're gonna find the perfect person for you.
Anything for you?
Like she said, just work on you. Like I said, because when you work on you and when you do that, that brings that security that we was talking about that we wanted. When you working on yourself and you committing to God, that's what brings that security. You could be secure within yourself. That's what brings that security.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Fuel Station Single Podcast. We had a great time. I hope that this podcast blessed you guys, for anybody who was watching. And until next time, we'll see you.